Hey friends, and welcome to another YouTube video in which we're gonna speak about not marketing, not sales, not really business, but more about life and about a specific characteristic that I see lots of people lack and that makes them unhappy. And I think that post-pandemic, that now even more, and coming towards this new era of the metaverse, of this will even lack more. And I think that people have been afraid, have been more protecting themselves nowadays due to the pandemic, due to everything. The threats and the risk that people are taking has been lowered. And to me, this is really wrong. And the biggest thing that I see as actually something that I've taken as like a bit of hesitance out there to make decisions, to take actually a path. I feel people are reluctant. They don't actually pay a lot of effort to do that. And to me, this is something that I really hate and I don't like at all. And I think that this is what makes you happy, is actually taking the right decisions at each time and making sure that you have thought through all the decisions, but also that this decision was the best decision that you could make at each point of time. And in this video, we're gonna actually speak about how you can make effective decisions. And this is not about business only, but about life in general. Before we start, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Theo from Planet Growth. We're a company helping B2B founders reach 1 million ARR in 12 months. Our approach is a no bullshit approach, and we actually try to share insights of what we do, of all the systems we learn to grow their businesses. But in this channel, I'm also sharing some personal things, some personal views of the world. So if you're interested in either or, I'd suggest you subscribe and like this video so that I know and post more like this one. So first off, how did this conversation start? I was speaking with actually a McKinsey consultant, and he was sharing with me that he actually would like to change his role. He wanted to start his own company. And to be honest, for me, this is something that most people dream of, but nobody does. I'm not saying that you should tomorrow drop off your employment to just start your own thing, but I totally believe that it's essential for you to at least make the decision of if you want to do it or not, right? So if you want in the future to do it, if you want to do it tomorrow, just try to pave the path that you want to take. That's all I'm saying. And this is what I was sharing also with a McKinsey consultant. And for me, it is essential that you actually do that. Just make a decision and take it, and don't care about the risk that it has. So for example, he was really worried that his manager might actually harm him if he starts his own thing. And okay, take it a step at a time. First off, start with just uploading some content out there, or just initiate some dialogue and see the problems that people have. You don't need to just dump your job in just a day and start your own thing. It can be and take process. I'm not saying move fast, I'm saying move. That's all I'm saying. And I don't see people moving enough. Well, why is decision making important? Well, for business it is because if you don't move fast, then your competitors might move fast, and that also goes for life. If you're in a job and you actually want to make sure that succeed, you have to make decisions. You have to take the decisions that hurt and those that don't, but you have to make them. And also, if you like someone out there and you're just interested and you try to figure out how they feel about you, that's also a thing. Even that, like take the decision and say it and just dump it instead of procrastinating, because procrastinating doesn't get anyone anything. Second one, and the reason you taking decisions makes sense, is because the faster you move, the faster you fail. So I'd say that try again and again, take decisions, see what happens. See that, okay, if I run an ad with a lead magnet for 1k pounds with a fake company, what would that actually give back to me? Like, back to the McKinsey example, what I was saying to the guy, he wants to start his own consultancy, and I said to him, okay, just like you have 1k dollars out there, a specific problem for a specific industry, and you really know well the FMCG industry, so why do you bother of not actually just running an ad for the FMCG industry? Try to figure out what that is, and that's all you need to do. Just get 10 people to view your content, speak with 5 of them and see is that something that could be a potential case of you working with them. You're having a McKinsey in your CV and you still do nothing about it, and you just complain and feel sad about the role, and that this gives you a lot of pressure but not additional benefits that you'd like. I mean, just do it. Then I think also it creates a positive culture making the decisions. And what I mean to say with this is something that I iterated in the beginning of the video. And once you think of life as different moments, then you will understand that each moment needs one decision, right? And I believe that if you actually spend the time to make thorough decisions, understand what you want at each moment, then you're happy with the decisions you made. You know that this was the best option that you had at each specific moment, and you don't doubt yourself. You don't look back and say, okay, I mean, this didn't work and I could have done better. When you do the decision and you make the decision and you actually understand that each moment you take a decision for what you do, this is that will get you on top. This is that will, even if it fails, that you had the balls to take the decision. And if it doesn't fail, even better, but just make this decision, make sure that you actually take the time to do it and make it and make it efficiently, and then move on and don't bother about it, but make a decision. And you can always go back and change the decision you made. You can always look back and see that marketing campaign, for example, like let's talk about my work, and let's see, like you say a marketing campaign to a specific audience and it doesn't work. Okay, so let's try again. And this is how life is. So some tips to make effective decision, and this is coming from a startup mindset that I have and working closely with startups. So bear in mind that this is coming from my own experience, but for me there are 3 tips in general in life for decision making. And the first one is don't spend too much time on research. Like life moves fast, and I mean, researching is great and amazing, but paying a lot of time on it just creates more doubts, and this comes to everywhere in life. Like imagine you're in a room and you try to research at everyone and try to find the perfect girl in the room, maybe that, or let's take a business example and say that you're trying to find the perfect candidate out there, and you interview again and again, and you try and do research again and again. Well, yeah, you might find the perfect candidate, but if that's after like 6 months, well, what's the point of this? And this is something that people do all the time. So yeah, in the candidate case, then it might be evident. But what if I told you that you're doing the same when you're actually trying to understand what you will do with your day? So for example, you try and you have a long list of things that you want to complete, and you want to get this done by then. And instead of taking decisions and saying, now I'm doing this, and actively do this, you actually procrastinate. You say, okay, I'll do this now, then I'll drop this, and you just keep going back and forth, which just kills everything. Then one tip is just sip it. I mean, I have been a victim of it myself, of trying to make it perfect, trying to review it again, or even worse, is actually getting someone else's approval, getting someone else's feedback, and having this procrastination of someone's feedback. Well, don't ask for permission, don't ask for your manager's permission, or do not ask for your friend's permission on anything. Just do it. Just sip it, estimate that the impact a decision might have, and then sip it. And if you know that the impact is low, or if you have planned for this impact, then you will be in good hands. There's no chance that you will be just amazed by what happened. And this is also the next tip that I have for decision making is actually trying to estimate the impact of the decision. But once you've done that, plan for the impact of it and move ahead. Like just make sure that you plan, that you actually take the time to make sure that the decision you make withholds and has the potential that you want. But if you do that, then live with also the negative aspects of this decision. So for example, going back to this McKinsey guy, if his manager found out and he was super furious, you might get fired, you might lose your job, but about that, you have estimated, and you're satisfied with the decision you're making, right? So take the decision. Don't be back and forth debating and saying like, okay, should I do it or should I not? say the decision. If you're not okay with that, then live with the decision of not being okay. If you're okay with the decision, then live with the consequences of it. That's all I'm saying. The last one is actually the pivot. So I believe that's something that businesses do, but I believe that this is something that also people do. So every startup at some point might get out of this situation that they don't have a real niche market, or they haven't found the perfect business model for them, and they just pivot and they do something else. They try to actually approach the market in a different way or approach a different problem because they see from their customer feedback that this is working better for them. So do not be afraid also in life to pivot, to take the decision to go to another market, to try to take the decision to go to another place, to spend your time, just travel and move away from, your country. Try to make the things that would just have impact to your life at this point and stage. And if you do that collectively and this grows, that would just mean that every moment in your life would be a happy moment. So just make sure that, you take the right decisions at each time. So this is enough for me. I'd like to also hear from you and all the decisions that you've made that made you happy. So please share it in the comments, and I'd be happy to also, get your view on how you think decision making should be made, and if you think that this is the most important factor in life, or what you think it's the best. Also, it's the first time I actually do a video like this, and this comes out of the conversations that I have with my content marketers. So if you think that, this is something you actually like, if you think that this is something interesting to you, I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'd love to get a like and subscribe to this channel so that I do more videos like this in the future. Again, keep daydreaming, and thanks for checking my video. Bye.